Good morning from the Isle of Skye. It's a grey overcast day today, so I've come north of Portree to Uig, to this little waterfall you can see behind me here. It's called the Falls of Ra. We've had a lot of rain the last few days, so as you can see there's quite a lot of water coming through this waterfall, and a lot of water coming through the river at the bottom as well. So I have come here today, as I say, to shoot the waterfall, and also give me a chance to run through with you my use of filters, so from polarizer to ND filters to allow you to do longer exposure. Now, as you can probably see here, there's a lot of trees here, so there's a green foliage, so that automatically cuts out quite a bit of light. So even without any ND, with just a polarizing filter in place, which I'll talk about in a bit, you'll probably get half a second, 1 second, maybe even 2 seconds on the daylight today. So there's not necessarily a need for NDs, but I'll still run through the NDs that I use. So I use a 3-stop, 6-stop, 6-stop and 10-stop ND. Very rarely use a 10-stop. My go-to NDs are 3 and 6. So cuts the amount of light by 3 stops, 6 stops and 10 stops. So yeah, I'll run through them. I'll probably use each of them. Maybe not the 10 stop because that may be an ultra long exposure, but we'll see what we get. So before I get started, I just want to thank everyone for the response to the last video. Yeah, it's been a while since I was at Kilburn Castle. I've finally got a day off in amongst a really busy period here on Skye doing the photo workshops for Skye Photo Academy. So obviously I have to make the most of it. So I apologise, it's probably been at least a month, maybe even a bit more. So anyway, yeah, thanks for the response to that video, so the likes, the comments and the subsequent subscribes to my channel. It's really much appreciated. So I'm just going to wander around with the camera, look for compositions. I mean, I'll do the obvious shots, you know, the kind of semi-wide angle shots, and I'll do some closer up shots. I've got the 70 to 200mm lens with me. I've got the 24 to 70mm lens and my 16-35. So I'll probably start off with the 16-35, I think, just do the wide shot. Yeah, so I'll look for some compositions, and then when I've got sorted, I'll talk you through some things. Okay, so I've got my first composition now. Straightforward composition. As I say, I've got the 16-35mm lens on, currently at 24mm. So it's just a regular shot here, I'll just show you. So I've just got the waterfall coming in from more kind of the top, the right hand edge of the frame, with the flow of the water going through the bottom left hand corner. So you've got a nice kind of flow from top right through to bottom left. All I've got is the polarizer on at the moment, so I'm going to start with just that. So that's given me 3/10 of a second. So I'm shooting at f11, so I say there's the natural light's quite cut down here because of the trees and that, and it's a grey overcast day today, so I'll just take a shot. So I'll show you that one. Okay, so that looks okay. And if I zoom in, so at 3/10 of a second, you've still got a nice bit of detail in the waterfall there. I'm not sure if that's picking that up on the back of my camera here properly. Now what you see here is, see the bubbles there in the water. Now at 3/10 of a second doesn't really do much. But if I can slow that down even more, what I'll end up with, all the bubbles in the water, I'll get nice little streaks going through the frame. So hopefully from the base of the waterfall going through to the bottom left hand of the frame. So I've got 3/10 of a second, so if I put, say, my 6-stop filter, that will give me half a second, 1 second, 2, 4, 8, 16, so that's probably going to be too long. So I'll start with a 3-stop filter, Then I'll use a 6 stop filter and show you the differences. I won't bother with a 10 stop filter because I say 16-20 seconds with a 6 stop, that'll give me quite a few minutes with the 10 stop, and that'll just be kind of pointless. So I'll use 3 and 6 stop. So I'll do that, so it'll be the Kase 3 stop, then the Kase 6 stop, then I'll put the images up. Now, as you can see with the 2 images there, I think I put up a 4-second exposure, possibly a 5. So I did both 4 and 5 seconds, so I'll probably put up the 4-second exposure, and then 25 seconds. So with both of those images, you've got a really nice flow of the bubbles creating the streaks going from the base of the waterfall down through to the bottom left of the frame. So that helps to give a nice kind of leading line up to the waterfall as well. Now, one of the things I wanted to do while I was here, let me just negotiate these rocks. Now, I put my wellies on today because I wanted to actually go into the river. So I wanted to go down there. Now, the river's still a bit too high. I won't be able to negotiate my way. I've been over there before, but I won't be able to negotiate my way over there today. It's just too high. Although I've got the wellies on, it is going to be too deep even in places. Now, you can normally see rocks that you can step on to get over to kind of the middle of the river. So I won't bother doing that today. So what I probably will do is, I'll actually still use that section of the river, but I'll use the 70 to 200mm lens, just do some close-ups. Because with these rivers, there's a lot of peat in the riverbed, so you get this really nice kind of brown colour coming through. People sometimes think it's mud, but it's kind of an orangey, browny, kind of bronzy colour. And kind of longer exposures, it looks really quite nice. So I'll use the longer lens to kind of try and pick out some details. So I'm going to swap over the lenses, stick the 70-200mm lens on, excuse me, and try and find some compositions, and I'll talk you through that. I've now got my 70-200mm lens on, and I found what I think is quite a nice composition. So I'll show you on the back of the camera to start with. So I've gone for a square crop here. See if the camera will focus on it. I think that's focused. Yeah, I've gone for a square crop. And I have just the Kase polarizer on at the moment. Shooting at f11, I don't need f11 here, but it's giving me half a second exposure. I think that would be quite a nice exposure, so I'll just do a test shot. So pre-focus just on the middle of the frame. And that's come out okay actually. There's still nice texture there. So, show you that. No, I'm not yeah. So I think if I go any longer, it'll probably be too long exposure. You'll kind of lose the texture in the water, and maybe kind of some of the brown colour from the peat. But what we'll do is I'll try a shot. I'm just going to open up to f8. So that'll give me 1/4 of a second. So I'll do another shot. And I think I prefer the first shot, the half a second exposure. I'll just show you the 1/4 of a second there. Of course, I'll put them both up. So what I'll do is I'll try the 3 stop, I'll try the 6 stop as well and see what I get. Probably keep it at f8, and I'll put the images up, and I'll just basically have a look around, see if I can find some more compositions. I've come a bit further downstream now, away from the main waterfall, and I found what I think is quite a nice composition. So I'm quite low to the water here, and it's a bit of a precarious position. So I'll just turn the live view back on, I'll show you the composition. So hopefully you can see that okay. So I've got this nice flow of water, just kind of bottom left hand of the frame, and it goes through the frame, meets the main part of the river, and then goes through to the back. It's quite nice lush and green at the top of the frame. So I've currently just got the polarizer on again. I'm shooting at f11 because there's quite a bit of depth to this image. It's going to be 0.6 of a second, so I've pre-focused already. I've set the polarizer, so I'll just do a shot. Oh, it's quite nice. So I'll just zoom in. So you can see 0.6 of a second is retained quite a bit of texture in the water there. Especially in this little pool here, you get little splashes and whatnot. And then up to the main river. Now, whoa, sorry about that. Hey, good job I got my wheelies on. Just I went over the top of them in a pool of water. So yes, as I was about to say, I'm just going to try the 3-stop filter and the 6-stop filter, ND sorry, and see what I get from those. So initially I thought I'd like the, what was it again, the 0.6 of a second exposure, but using the 3 and the 6-stop NDs from Kase, really come really nice kind of silky feel. So the 3-stop gave me 5 seconds and the 6-stop gave me 30 seconds. So here's a 5-second exposure. And if I just move that on to the 30-second exposure, I'll zoom in on there. Still retain quite a bit of detail in the pool there. What I really like is this kind of silkiness up here. Let me just zoom out a wee bit. Almost kind of metallic-y, silky, smooth feeling to it. It's not normally my type of shot. I normally like an exposure anywhere between 1/4 of a second through to 2-second exposure, but it's worked really nice here. Probably because the water at the top is not, it's not got a lot of texture in it already. So, you know, doing a really longer exposure, say the 5-second, the 30-second exposure, has kind of really made that really silky, rather than say the Waterfall before, when you've got, you know, initial texture in it. Half-second, 1-second, 2-second exposure work really nicely. So I think that's about it for me today. I might find another composition. There's one here behind me which I have done before, but I might try that again. You've got these really nice mossy rocks in the background, and you've got two little waterfalls coming off the big rock. So before I do go and show you the final images, I just want to thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, if you did like it, please give it that thumbs up. Any comments, as always, appreciated. I'm trying to reply to them all. I think I managed to do that so far. I don't get hundreds of comments, so you know, it's easy enough for me to reply at the moment. But yeah, if I get hundreds and hundreds, you know, I'll try and reply to them all. And of course, again, if you did like this video and if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe and hit that bell icon to be notified when I upload further videos. Again, as usual, hopefully it'll be sooner rather than later. But until then, bye bye.